Jeremy Clarkson.
Coming back.
I'm going to explain why I like Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, go on, Jeremy Clarkson.
Jeremy Clarkson has done a couple war documentaries as well. Like, he does his DVDs on, like, cars and shit, and it's all alright. It's basically Top Gear, but not as good. But like, he's done a couple of documentaries for the BBC over the years on different World War II stories. And the two I remember vividly, I don't know if he's done more, but these are the two I remember vividly. One was about... fuck.
Fuck, was it?
One was
Must have
about
missed
fuck.
that one, mate.
One was about a
I don't know
plan.
if that would be too appealing, though. Seeing Jeremy Clarkson in a porno.
Oh, no, certainly not. All those curly pubes. Grey,
Which end?
curly
The ones
pubes.
on his head or the... Ooh.
Both.
It's all the same, isn't it?
He might have a lovely mane down there.
I bet he does. I bet
It's
that's
just
where
the
he
wrong way
grows.
round.
That's where he grows his straight hair, and he has all his pubes on his head. Yeah.
Yeah, we've solved the enigma of Jeremy Clarkson's pubic hair. Anyway, he told two stories.
I hope this video gets big. I hope it does.
The enigma of Jeremy Clarkson's pubic hair. That's the title of this episode.
There you go. Brilliant. Sometimes these episodes write themselves. It's great.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I don't have to do any work. No, the stories were. One was about.
I love your professionalism.
Oh shit! Right. There was when the right. Well, let me know when you're done, and I'll go ahead with it.
Your professionalism's great, no matter how
It's
hard.
not professionalism. It's like, how long can you run the joke of pubic hair before it just gets tiresome? So I was just trying to move on before it got stale quickly, because it was going to get stale quickly.
No, it wasn't to do that. The thing is, like, I started giggling, but then you, back in your stern voice, Jeff, must carry on.
Well, yeah, it's because like,
I started giggling harder because all I could see in my head was like, Twins trying to be old professional. I must carry on with this. I must try and keep up with him. And I was like, no, Tom, you can't take this seriously.
No, I don't hire you for professionalism, because I know that would be a waste of time if I did.
Sure, I'm that character in the game where you have to hire because you have no other option until you can afford something better.
You're like the guy in Spyro that you have to pay money to unlock characters. Moneybags, I think his name is actually Moneybags.
Oh, okay.
You hate him, he's the most hated character in the game, but you need to pay him.
Yeah.
Because you need to get your shit, basically.
Well, yeah, go on, Jeremy.
Anyway, Jeremy Clarkson has
Oh shit, it stopped.
narrated two documentaries on war stories, right? And he did it brilliant. Like, he's got a really good voice for doing it. I don't know why, but he just has.
Yeah.
And there was one particular story. Well, there's two I'm going to tell. One particular one was about the Germans were planning on building this new massive either submarine or warship of some kind, but there was only one port in the world that could fit it, and it was, I don't know, somewhere in the southern Europe somewhere.
Right.
And so instead of trying to blow up this ship, as it was being made, they thought we'd just blow up the port, or the British did. So they planned, so I tried to think of a plan that would work.
Right.
And basically, it was to kamikaze it with a boat. Get a big fucking ship that looks like a German ship.
Right.
Paint it in the right colours, wave the right flags, all that sort of stuff. Fill it with explosives, and charge towards it, and just let it go off, basically. And so that's exactly what they did. They set up the ship, got it all ready, filled with explosives. Right. Now back then, fuses weren't particularly reliable. They were basically a glass canister filled with acid, and this acid would burn this sort of bit of metal and then set off the explosive.
Right.
But obviously they were breakable and temperamental as to whether they would even go off.
Okay.
So they did this thing. They charged toward this port. They hit the actual, the gates to the port. Nearly broke through them completely, but didn't destroy them, and the explosives didn't go off. So the port was basically repairable. They could have continued, used it for what they needed it for.
Right.
So they thought it was a complete failure. They were sentry posts guarding this port. They were firing at the ship as it was charging towards them. Like men, it was a full on, literally, we are going to die suicide mission, but it's for the greater good kind of thing. And it failed. And so the people that survived, the Germans took hostage, and literally, fuck. What? I jumped. Oh, I need to hit it one more time. So this boat, they were literally walking people off the ship. The Germans were even talking and joking with the English soldiers, saying, "God, you got some balls to do that," kind of thing. That sort of stuff. Photographers, German photographers, were going onto the ship to take photographs of it. then the fuses worked. The fuses had just taken longer to go than they wanted to. Blew up the entire fucking thing and all, like, you know, all the Germans that were on side the ship and everything, and it worked. Basically, it saved, you know, stopped the Germans building this fucking warship. And it was really well told by Jeremy Clarkson. It was, you know, he really gave it some enthusiasm behind it. The story itself is inspirational, but he had a really good way of telling it and all that as well. So that was really good. So I can't remember what that one's called, but if everyone could find that documentary, comment a link below or something. It'll get spammed, but I'll approve it if it is the right one, because it was really, really good. And the second one he did was about this man who basically became a one-man army.
Wasn't Audley Murphy, was it?
I can't remember his name now, but I'll tell you the twist at the end. He won a Victoria Cross basically and never told anyone about it, and he looked into as to, you know, how he got it, and it turns out that he basically became a one-man army. He had to. There was, I mean, this is going to be completely wrong, but this is what I remember of it. Basically, there was a small village in France somewhere that had a bridge on it that was key to, you know, transport links and stuff, and they needed to protect it, and they were just undermanned. Like, they didn't have the firepower or the manpower to protect against the German forces because they were bringing tanks in and all this sort of shit, and they didn't have the equipment to deal with it. And so he kept getting injured, but kept going. So he was using this. Hand. It was kind of like a missile launch, like a rocket launch RPG, but a World War II RPG. So it was unreliable at best, and you needed to be lying down to use it. It needed to be on a stable platform, and it was really unreliable anyway. And he was just walking around with this thing on his shoulder, like running it up towards tanks, launching at them, and then running away again, reloading, jumping out again, and he kept doing it back and like, you know, basically taking out all these tanks. Big fucking tanks as well, with this tiny little like you know, rocket launcher that weren't designed to take out tanks, and he was doing it. He got shot with by a tank shell. It deafened him. It you know, he was bleeding all day, really bloody injured.
Yeah.
He was taken off the field by some medics who kept, you know, were saying like, you can't go back, you've got to go back beyond, you know, beyond the lines. And he's like, no, I've got to finish my job. It's my mission, sort of thing. He kept going. Eventually, like, he just, you know, they lost the village, I think, in the end anyway. But just like how this man kept on going no matter what, just because that was his mission. Yeah. And it turned out that this guy never mentioned this Victoria Cross until after he died. His family found it and like, what's all this? And they looked into it. It was Jeremy Clarkson's stepfather. A father-in-law. It was his wife's dad. Oh, and they never knew until he died he'd won this Victoria Cross. Until they searched all this stuff. And again, really inspirational story, and he told it brilliantly.
Well, it sounds like this guy he was just doing his duty.
Yeah, like it was purely that. It was purely because it was his duty, and as a soldier, and he, you know, it was like, fuck you, Germans. Just like kept going with it. It was really inspirational. I really liked it. Did that kill 10 minutes?
No, 7 minutes in.
No, I waffled for 7 minutes.
Yeah. A twin episode. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
They're not too bad, these twin episodes, when they happen.
Yeah, they're not bad. Yeah, see, they're the rare occasion.
But what was it I was going to say? I remember watching a few, documentaries. Was it Frankie in 1080p? He did his.
I think he may have done the Jeremy Clarkson stepfather one, or father-in-law.
Oh, maybe.
I think he did. Obviously, it wasn't an hour-long documentary, but he did talk about it on his war stories. The war stories. I don't think he does it anymore.
No,
very rarely if he does,
because they were really good.
Yeah,
definitely really interesting.
There you go, plug for Frankie in 1080p. If you're watching, you know, we've plugged you. We expect some kind of compensation for that.
No, not compensation, just plug us back.
Yeah, plug us back. Yeah, I think so. That's fair enough.
That's fair. You know, we've mentioned it to our 250 subscribers. If you could mention it to your 2.5 million, that'd be.
I've not a clue how many he's got now. I bet
it's got to be big. Let me have a quick look. I'm sure he had 1 million when I was watching him with you back in
easily, yeah.
So.
Well, I remember when he started his channel.
Yeah.
1080p was like a thing you didn't see often on YouTube. That's the name.
Frankie on PC in 1080p.
That's it, yeah.
I knew it didn't sound quite right. Sorry, 3.5 million subscribers.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you know, I think that's a fair trade.
That's fair. I'd swap that. But yeah.
1080p was a rare thing on YouTube, so advertising, that was a good thing. Now it's all 4K and 3D and shit, and 60 FPS. Our videos still remain in 720p.
Are they really?
Yeah. Well, like, when I moved, I was like, right, I've got a better laptop now, I can do them in 1080p because the rendering times won't be too long, etc., etc. And then my internet was so slow it took 2 hours to upload one video instead. So to put it in 1080p would take 4 hours. So
Yay!
so you're still stuck with 720, unfortunately.
Oh, good.
Back in the day, 720 was a luxury. I remember seeing 720 for the first time, being, wow, look how clear it is. And now it's like, oh, I can see all the pixels and shit. So fucking shitty.
Yeah.
I've not got a 4K telly, but whenever I see it, I'm like, bloody hell, that's crystal, that.
I've got a 4K telly.
I know, yeah. But then you probably don't watch much 4K content.
No, I don't.
Because there's not much 4K content.
No, there's not, which is a real shame because 4K looks beautiful.
Yeah.
It's one of them moments where your eyes just fully open and they just...
Yeah, it does look nice. Like, the shops that like sell TVs, like, they have those sort of demonstrative videos, like, you know, lots of colours and pretty imagery and things. They're never representative of how it's going to look because they are completely uncompressed videos, which means that is the raw footage of the, you know, with all, and the colours are obviously, you know, made to look prettier and stuff like that. Completely uncompressed. So your TV will never look that pretty because that's not how broadcasting works. They compress everything to make the file sizes a reasonable size. So unfortunately, your TV will never look as good as advertised.
Yeah.
Right, is that 10 minutes?
That is 10 minutes.
Right, okay, in 10 minutes' time, or the next episode, so if you're watching this in the playlist, immediately. Otherwise, in 2 days' time, I will do this bonus level, Richards.
In 2 days?
Well, that's 4 days. No, 4 days. Yeah, 4 days' time.
Oh, uploaded schedule.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you now.
There you go, Richards. Time isn't quite, you know, as fluid as we thought.